Welcome to the world of nutrition. This is a wonderful podcast that takes place on the second Friday of the month, and we are part of the World of Ability Podcast Network. My name is Sue Roscoff, and it is my absolute privilege to bring in Marilyn Lamer, host of World of Nutrition, and she's got some amazing guests joining us tonight. Marilyn, how are you? So good to see you.
Aloha, happy Aloha Friday. So good to see you too. I'm so happy to be here. We have two amazing guests, so you are all in for a treat. And so I want to introduce the first one. So sometimes the deepest healing happens without ever stepping into the same room. My first guest, Ricki Marie with Naturally Refreshing, has spent over a decade helping people across the globe release what no longer serves them and step into greater peace and clarity. She blends Usui Holy Fire Reiki with somatic energy release and root cause coaching to create deeply personalized healing journeys. With training in Reiki mastery, somatic coaching, NLP, quantum release, hypnotherapy, and more, Ricki's work meets each person exactly where they are, guiding them towards true transformation. So, Ricki, thank you so much for being here today. Please tell us a little more about what you do.
My pleasure. And thank you so much for having me, Marilyn. It's fun to be in a place where people are being proactive. I really appreciate that. Um, so Ricki, what does Ricki do? Ricki does Reiki. I always have found that a fun little thing when I started getting into the natural healing realm. And then I found somatic coaching with some root cause coaching. So what I'm doing is I'm really helping people break free from emotional programming. And one of the first things that I like to ask them is, who are you really? And that particular question tends to catch people off guard because most of us are going to answer with, oh, I'm a Reiki master. I taught elementary school for 26 years. You have connected to a relationship or maybe a hobby. And then I have to ask it again because I need them to go deeper. Like, who are you really? And this is where a lot of my clients will answer with silence. Stop and think about all of your experiences. Because by the time we're around 10 years old, most of our emotional programming is already set. And we start living from patterns that we picked up in childhood instead of our authentic self. And so what I do is try to guide you back to who your authentic self is.
I love that. So when you ask the question, who are you really? Like, why is that so important? Like, and why, I'm curious, do people are they just silent?
Well, when you start really listening to yourself authentically through whatever your experiences are, you're listening to your body. You're people talk about prayer, people talk about meditation. That's the process to get back to your authentic self, because we were given here a divine purpose. And I use that word divine because who are you really? Well, you're unconditional love. And people have a hard time connecting back to that unconditional love. And that's where the Reiki comes in. And that's where the somatic coaching comes in, so that they can get back to that authentic self so that they're able to live their divine purpose.
I love that. And when you talk about like somatic awareness and how you coach in that way, can you maybe walk us through a simple awareness exercise so that we can know a little bit more about what that is?
Sure. And one of the things you need to realize is that energy never lies. We are energy, we operate at a frequency. And if you look up an emotional chart, you'll see that on the lower bottom, you've got guilt and shame. And we want to raise that up because we know that we can heal ourselves at a frequency. It's 528. And so there's a lot of current research coming out about how our body is always, and it's designed to heal itself. And so with that in mind, everything you've experienced, every unexpressed emotion, every wound, here's a tough one for people, limiting belief, it's still stored in your body until you release it. And it will show up as tension in your shoulders. It will show up as a pain. It will show up as discomfort. I recently sprained my ankle and it's like, okay, what's this trying to tell me? Because there's no such thing as an accident. There was circumstances that had me take a look. And so I go to my coach and we release the pain. Because even coaches have coaches. Because if you don't, you're really missing out. And so, how would you like to do one with me right now? Place one of your hands on your heart and another one on your belly. And you're going to take in what we call a life breath. Sometimes it's referred to as a box breath, where you're going to breathe in for 4 and hold it for 4. And then exhale for 4 and hold it for 4. And just kind of see if you have any tension. I'm noticing some in my right shoulder. So you ask yourself, what emotions are there? What did you do today that was differently? What's the story that your body's telling you? And so anytime you're feeling like people have an anxiety attack, the box breath is a lot of time they ask them to do it 3 times, 4 times. Sometimes you need to do more because you're trying to get in tune. And if people aren't in tune with their emotions, this does take a little bit longer. And that's what I'm there for, because I can help walk them through the process. And I worked with a lady that had surgery for a hernia. And she goes, I'm at a 10. I don't want to be a 10. And so we somatically released enough, because you still need to keep some of the pain so you don't do too much. So we somatically released enough so where she could go through her daily duties and know it was still healing. And they're amazed when those things happen, just so you know. Your body's constantly sending us signals. So what are you feeling? Anything, Marilyn?
Yeah, I feel like my heart hurts actually.
And you just need to know that your nervous system isn't going to lie to you. If your stomach is in knots and around certain people, that's not a weakness. That's information, because everyone carries their own energy, and sometimes it's chaotic. And if you're at all empathic, you're going to feel their energy.
Yeah, you're saying the energy never lies, your body never lies. So how can we be more aware, I guess?
So aware is the perfect word. If you are aware and you're receptive, remember we talk about that 6th sense, that intuition, that's your body talking to you. You kind of need to recognize you don't want to identify with your thoughts and emotions. You want to work on separating them. And the best way to do it currently with our society as it is take a look at social media. And if you're on Facebook and you're scrolling down and it's a constant feed of thoughts, well, how many of them are yours? And when you're looking at them, and even commercials, which I don't own the TV to watch the news. I don't watch commercials. I grew up with them, right? But we don't want to listen to things that say that I'm not good enough. And they do it subtly, that subtle information. Or I have to be perfect. Well, we want our authentic self to say, I am love. And here's the big one, I am enough. And so with Reiki, I can get them back into that, because all of my somatic sessions are Reiki infused. And if you're not familiar with Reiki, it's unconditional love. It's not a religion. It's just energy, and it's unconditional love. So imagine having that unconditional love be pouring into you to fill the void when we've released those energies that are no longer serving you. So it's that awareness.
Yeah, I'm curious, like, how can we start listening to our body's signals instead of overriding them? Because even before this, I was going through a whole bunch of different emotions, and I'm like, I don't have time to feel my emotions right now. I have to get ready for this podcast, right? So I'm like, I'll deal with it later, and then it's like, I'm just curious, like, what tips do you have, or how can we listen and hold space for ourselves as we're navigating through life?
So you said it right there. You have to hold space. That means you make time. When you're scheduling whatever it is that you need to do, like before I came on, I Reiki'd my room and I use essential oils. And so for me, I want to be able to speak my truth. It's lavender on the throat. I want to be able to tap into my intuition. So that's frankincense. And I also use clary sage for my third eye. And those are oils. Everyone has their own preferences. There's even oils that work with each of your chakras. So depending on where you feel the tension, believe it or not, there's an oil for that. I laugh because what is the oil made from? The frequency of the plant. So if you want to have a calm demeanor, then you need to find a calming oil, and lavender has wonderful, it's the Swiss knife of all of the oils. So it's one of my favorites. And so what that does is it's changing your frequency, it's shifting your energy. And when you shift it on the inside, guess what shifts around you? Your outer life does. This is what's so fun when we take a look at astrology, because today's the Lion's Gate, 8-8, infinity, manifestation. Yes. So if you're wanting to shift and manifest something, take some time for yourself tonight. That's all it is. Take some time for yourself, set some intentions. If you're into doing an altar or crystals or whatever you want to do what's right for you. There is no wrong. And then you set that intention. And one of the best ways is to write it on a piece of paper and put it between your hands, because there's energy there. So take advantage of that today. That was fun when I saw that we were meeting on 8-8.
I know. I was actually telling people my BNI chapter this morning. I said, everybody should go ground, hug a tree, or go to the beach and stand in the water.
I took my granddaughter for a hike because I live up near Silver Falls. And so we went and I had her hug some trees.
I love it.
Yeah, because there's ways to, and that's part of the somatic process of releasing these blocks. And then when you do this, all of a sudden beautiful things start happening in your life. And that's what we want. Our divine purpose is to experience beauty. You just have to release the blocks that have been programmed so that you can experience it.
Yeah, I feel like lately there's been a lot of energy release and more awareness, more forgiveness, more love that I've been experiencing. So I'm curious if the rest of the world is experiencing that as well.
Well, I know that more and more people are recognizing, because I keep seeing more and more people going, oh, look at these frequencies. I didn't realize this frequency does that. And you've got your energy spirals. And so more and more are going, wait a minute, there are some natural things. And if you believe in the divine feminine, people are becoming awake. I don't like the word woke because I think that's mistermed. And so as we become more in tune to ourselves and our divine beauty and our unconditional love, as more and more people tap into that and recognize that their body's designed to heal themselves. And sometimes we just need a coach to help us to get to that point. And what we're doing right now, this is an energy release because we're communicating, even though it's over distance. And with Reiki and the distance symbol, we can technically have any kind of conversation with anyone in the world. And I just find that just to be absolutely amazing. So I'm tapping into your nervous system. You're tapping into mine. And I have to let you know, have you ever been around somebody and you feel like when you go, oh, I'm so drained? Well, that may be someone that you shouldn't be hanging around and spending a lot of time with, because they're draining your energy. Because we've got those siphons out there where people will take our energy. And then you're around others and you go, oh, I just felt so good. And we did all of this and they light you up, you know? The communication that people share. You've gone on your Zooms with our groups. Some people aren't very energetic. And we need to know that we've got fire, we've got air, we've got water, we've got earth, and we respond accordingly. And in case you can't notice, I'm a fire. I want to exude that positive Reiki energy wherever I go. And so I want to fire people up.
I love that. And you know what you're saying? I just finished reading this book called The Celestine Prophecy, which talks about energy and siphoning and, you know, being able to come together and give. When two whole people are able to give each other energy, like it just expands and expands and expands. And I'm so fascinated by how synchronistic, like what you're talking about, and just finishing that book is amazing.
Oh yes, there's so many ways that you can enlighten yourself to go, oh, you have to be a lifelong learner. And that's what I am. I am constantly learning how to better serve my clients. And I have my Reiki master, but I'm going to get my next level because I want to be able to help more people with trauma. Right now, I don't feel comfortable with PTSD. And so I went to my coach and I go, why don't I? She goes, because there's a next level. And when you're ready, you'll know it. So I have another training in December to increase my energy to be able to help more individuals.
Oh my gosh, I love that so much. So something I was thinking about, like with Reiki, knowing the difference between authentic energy and programming, how do you know like what the difference is? Is there some way that we could be looking out for?
You just have to ask yourself, is this coming from a place of love? And if you can, because when I said that, I got tingles. I don't know if you did. If it's coming from a place of love, then you know it's coming from your authentic self. If someone is telling you to go do something and you're having second thoughts, then that might be programming. So this is where you sit down and you ask yourself, because you can do that. Your body knows the answer. One of the energy gentlemen that I follow uses a pendulum. And I went, a pendulum? Isn't that woo-woo? He goes, no, it's energy. So I had to have a mental shift myself because I thought, this is more than I want to be able to handle. And then once he explained our energy and the pendulum, it made perfect sense. Mm. So there's another way to go, is this authentic or not? It will answer you yes or no. Those are the basic questions.
Okay.
And the key here, yeah. And the key here is you're your own healer. And you have to do the things that you know are right for you. I think we get misled by a lot of societal norms and preconceived ideas. Because when we're not talking about healing ourselves, we're not talking about going to a doctor's office. And there's a lot of money made there. So what I'm saying is you're capable with your knowledge to find the answers to work within yourself, and energy is one way to do that.
I love that. And if you have any last words for our listeners, and if you have any upcoming events where to find you, please let everybody know.
Oh, I'd love to. So naturally-refreshing.com is where you want to go. I enjoy the full moon and the new moon rituals. I offer a Sunday Reiki share also, so that you can come in and start the next week. I don't do it every Sunday. If you want one every Sunday, that's something that you can schedule with me. I like to have at least 3 people, myself and 2 others, because there's just so much energy in that triad. So that's where I would like to do those. I am teaching a Reiki 1-2 certification in October, where you learn the symbols that I use to be able to Reiki yourself and a partner. So that's for me, that's the icing on the cake, to be able to teach you how to work with the energy yourself. And again, it's all on my website.
I love that. Thank you so much, Ricki Marie, for being here.
Thank you. I appreciate you asking me to come share what I think I'm passionate about. I love Reiki. I love the somatic coaching. And I love working with people so that they can be a healer.
Yes, I can definitely tell that. So I'm so glad you and Calleigh are just going to get along well. So let me introduce our next guest. So healing isn't just about the body. It's about unlocking the stories that we carry deep inside. My next guest, Cali Piper, uses her nursing background alongside spiritual tools to help people uncover and release those hidden wounds. She's a holistic transformational practitioner who uses hypnotherapy, Reiki, coaching, and intuitive guidance to help people release trauma, embrace their spiritual gifts, and heal their deepest childhood wounds. Callie's passion is guiding others to break free from what holds them back so that they can step fully into their purpose and create the life they've always envisioned. Thank you, Calleigh, for being here today.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. Always a pleasure to see you.
You too. And please share with our listeners who aren't familiar more about what you do.
Well, I do a lot. So, and for me though, my goal is always the same for people. Very similar to Ricki, is to help them find their way home to their soul. Because that's who they truly are. That's unconditional love. When you try to manifest, you try to guide yourself when you're not in that space. It's not that it's wrong, because nothing you ever do is going to be wrong. It's experiences you need, but it's not gonna show up true. So for instance, I do hypnotherapy. I do 5 and 7 path hypnosis, a holistic form of hypnosis. I mean, I do all kinds of hypnosis, but that's what I specialize in. And if somebody is running a program from childhood that says I'm not enough, and that's what they're manifesting from, that's what they're going to manifest, is not enough in their outside reality, because our reality actually starts inside here and projects to the outside. So we always want to, whatever tool I'm using, I always want to guide them back to their soul space, or try to help them find their way back to their soul space, because that's what's true for us. And that's what's going to bring us the most happiness and joy, and get us out of those lower frequencies that we really don't want to hang in at all, because we are unconditional love. And it's going to feel uncomfortable when we're outside of that unconditional love bracket. When we're anything below a neutral, it's not going to feel great. So anyway, so how I do that? Well, I come in and I talk to my clients, because I have a ton of tools, but it matters where their beliefs are, or matters on how we proceed. If they, for instance, I have a huge shamanic background. My dad's Native American. I've been formally trained in shamanic practice, both attachment removals and soul retrievals, along with some other fancy things, whatever. But if somebody doesn't resonate with shamanic background, that is not the right tool, because they're not going to move forward. My background is actually a pain nurse. I was a pain nurse, a pain resource nurse for a number of years. That's when I started noticing the correlation between our emotional body and our physical body. And how certain types of people and certain types of pain always had certain emotions present, and how much in the medical field we suck at treating that. So that's where it started for me, is to notice that. And I used to tell my pain clients, well, the ones that I knew well anyway, I could tape a penny to your forehead, and if you believe it's going to cure your pain, it's going to cure your pain. because it's our beliefs that allow that healing, no matter what it is. Prayer is a great example of that. Look how many things, when you look at people who have complete faith and do prayer, look at some of the things that it's accomplished. I remember a couple of weeks ago, we had a tsunami scare here, right, in Hawaii, as well as California. There were tons of people. Yes, there were a lot of people heading for the mountains, but there was also a lot of people doing prayer and coming together as a community for the safety of all involved. And you know, look what happened. Hawaii was safe. So, you know, so that type of energy, that healing energy, it's nothing short for me of magic when I see people show up. But it's our belief. It's our belief that if I pray, this will happen. If I take this pill, this will happen. If I let somebody do this, this will happen. Their beliefs are really dictating, because that's going to affect their energy and how they are in the world. That's going to affect how it is. I hope that makes sense. But how I do that, again, a lot of it, most of it is childhood programming. The fact is, we all are a bunch of wounded toddlers running around. 95% of us. You show me a person that says they don't have any programming, and I will show you a liar every day of the week. We all have it to a certain degree. The best we can hope for is that we become conscious individuals, which is part of my soul path, is teaching people how to be conscious creators and how to be very, very conscious and reflect upon themselves. The world is not happening to you, sweetheart. You are happening to the world. And as soon as you realize that, and you realize it's your programming, it's your thoughts, it's your beliefs that are projecting onto the world, then you're empowered, knowing that you can change that. If I'm the one projecting onto my world, well, then I know I can change it, because it's me. I am literally the problem. Taylor Swift was right. We are the problem. So if you recognize that and go, okay, well, I had this relationship that didn't end well. What is my part in that? What are my lessons? What are my, okay, well, you know what? I didn't set good boundaries. I'm going to start now. I know I have to set good boundaries. Okay, 6 months later, hopefully at least that long, I'm going to try again. And when I do try again and I set better boundaries, my outcome is going to be different because I've learned that lesson. So, and like I said, for me, I look to see what a person really needs. A lot of people are scared of hypnotherapy. They think that I'm going to make them bark like a dog, cluck like a chicken. I don't do it. I don't do stage hypnosis. Nope. It literally is all of them and what they put into it. A lot of people are in a little bit more woo-woo. I do some woo-woo things too. I tell people, when you go to my website, I have what's on my website, and then I have the secret menu that's behind what's on my website. You know, I feel like a lot of us people probably have that too. And sometimes you hear a lot about it, sometimes you don't. Again, it's about their beliefs and where they're at. I owned a healing center for 7 years in Michigan that I did a lot of these practices in. And I spent a ton of time mentoring people on their spiritual gifts and getting them to understand what they are. They're not toys that we play with. They're literally a unique expression of our soul to help us on our mission and to help other people on their missions. And if we understand it and treat it as so, then we can accomplish amazing things with our gifts in this lifetime. So.
Love that so much. You know, you said you are happening to the world. So it's like, gosh,
yes.
And for so long, so many decades, I was thinking the world is happening to me, not I'm happening to the world. And so I'm curious, like, how people can see that shift or welcome that shift to be like, I am the creator and I can change my story.
Well, so people laugh when I tell them the story, but I was the ultimate skeptic. Even though I saw when I was a child, because I grew up, I'm a Gen X baby, and I grew up, if you saw things that people didn't see, you were crazy. And reality was black and white and in a box, and it was either left or right. So that's how I grew up. And so my programming told me, even though I did see, that no, I didn't really see, because people that saw things that weren't there were crazy. So that's what I started manifesting. And so as I went on, I became a very big skeptic. Like, you're going to have to, I'm a nurse. I need to see the evidence-based practice. You're going to have to line it up for me. And so for me, when I started becoming a conscious creator, and this was so funny, I wish my sister was on this show, because she would just be, you guys would be dying at some of the stories. But I tested the universe. I'm not even kidding. I was testing. I'm like, okay, You're going to give me what I want, or I'm going to reflect on the world. Let's give this a try. Let me hold my beer. I am ready to create. So I would trust the universe and I'd be like, okay, let me shift my energy a little bit and see what happens. And I would shift my energy, and sure enough, whew, just like magic, I have manifested people, I've manifested houses, I've manifested cars, I've manifested situations. I manifested coming to Hawaii. I lived in Michigan before this with like a couple $1,000s in my account. And as soon as I made that manifestation and I knew it was part of my soul path, whew, the door opened and everything came in that I needed. So when you see it over and over and over again, it becomes hard to discount that, even as a skeptic. And I was like, man, dude, this is real. This is like, there's no way. Even if I believed in coincidence, there is no way. And so then I'm like, okay, well, let's see what we can do with it. Because I can either sit here and play games with the universe, or I can use this to better humanity. I can use this to help other people. I know how scary it was when I opened up, when I had my first awakening, and how very scary that was as an adult. You know, if I can help people to where it's not quite as scary, if I can help people put to rest their fears and choose love instead of fear. When they see that fear is not the big scary monster under your bed, it's really just an old dark stairway that grandma told you bad things would come out of, or it's, the dark room that you were left alone in as a child because mom had to run out to change somebody's diaper quick. Fear is not the monster under the bed. It's actually not real at all. It's a construct of our mind. And I'm not saying that there's not dangerous things out there, because there are, but fear itself is a mind game. It's the biggest mind game you'll ever find.
It really is. And even like when you say you manifested all these things, like I also have manifested things. And then I'm like,
yep.
Sometimes I'm like not getting what I put my intention out. And I guess it's my inner child, my inner programming that's like, nope. So it's
this.
I'm just
this is what stops people. No. This is what stops people from believing, because they go, the universe is not a cocktail waitress. And again, you're right. It responds to frequency. It doesn't respond to wants. It responds to frequency. That is the universal language, is frequency. And the more we understand frequency and patterns, the better we're going to understand the universe and how to create within the universe the constructs of our universe as we know it. So for you, and I know I was the same way. I was like, let me get my order pad out. Let me write it down. Here you go, universe. This is what I need. When really, truthfully, the universe is responding to frequency. And so belief is a huge part of that. When I'm creating with people, I find that there is usually a self-limiting belief behind whatever is not manifesting. And sometimes it just doesn't do it fast enough. The universe does not work on our time schedule at all. It does not know time. Time is one of our constructs. And so, for me, I have said when I'm manifesting before, like I remember I'd broken up with a boyfriend. And so I'm like, so I said to my mom and dad, I was living with them. And I said to my mom and dad, this happened. And my mom's like, move your stuff back here. We'll deal with it on the end, like just come back here, bedroom, whatever. And so I said to the universe, I love my parents and I have the best parents ever, but I was like, this is short term. I'm going to need something within a week. And I'm like, I'm going to need something this price, this, did my list. And I knew I could feel it. So Ricki was talking about the difference between shooting from programming versus soul. I knew as I was saying to the universe the things that were important that it would happen. I could feel it in my chest. It was a yes. And it's like this big, almost like when you work out and you've done some aerobics and you just feel like your whole rib cage opens and you can breathe really well. That's what it feels like. When it's a yes for me, that's what it feels like. When it's a no, it feels like somebody kicked me in my stomach. So I knew it was a yes. And sure enough, that was on a Friday that I moved in with my parents. And Tuesday, I went to see a house. It looked just like my great grandmother's old little cottage house. I knew it as soon as I walked in. I was like, this is the place. I submitted all my stuff. He called me the next day on Wednesday to let me know that all my stuff looked fine and that he would let me know Thursday morning. Thursday morning, he called me and said, the other people are out. You're in. Do you want the house? I said, yes. And by Friday, he was handing me my keys. 1 week. Yes.
Love that.
And it was everything I asked for. Yes. So the universe responded to my frequency. They knew, I totally believed. So I was hooking the thought of this is what I need to the emotion of, I know it's already done. And when you hook the thought and the emotion together, that's a full cycle. Our thoughts project, our emotions draw. When we can hook the thought and the emotion together, and there's no self-limiting belief, that completes a cycle of creation for us. So, and that's exactly what happened, why my house appeared. And it literally was 15 minutes from his house. So I got to drive past him every day and wave.
So hooking the
Just
thought
kidding.
with the emotion, like I know it's
Yes.
already powerful.
Again, we're speaking in frequency. So again, we are frequency. So we're always projecting and drawing all the time. That's, people say, well, I need to manifest. Dude, you're already manifesting. Maybe you're not aware of it, but you're manifesting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And that's why we tell people to watch their thoughts. That's why we tell people to clean up their emotions, because you're always manifesting. So yes. So when we have a thought that, especially a repetitive thought that we're holding on to, such as hypnosis, when we give a hypnotic suggestion, I'm good enough, or I'm whatever you're trying to do there, you're constantly projecting. And so I like to tie in, at least when we're manifesting, how does that make you feel? How does it make you feel to know that you are completely loved? That you are perfect just the way you are, that you are an expression of the divine, and get people to really feel that, because then they complete that cycle of drawing that energy in. And then instead of just projecting out that unconditional love, they're going to draw in the unconditional love as well and complete that cycle of manifestation.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
Like, operate more out of love. I mean, there's people that, I think I said it with Ricki, like that life is happening to me, or you made me feel this. And man, that has been challenging for me lately.
Well, but if you think about it, that when we sit in that, now some people call it a victim complex. I feel like sometimes that's a little bit harsh, because I feel like we all do this to a certain degree, of like, oh man, this has happened again. And it's like we're programmed from day one like that. But if we think about it instead as somebody is taking away our power, when I'm literally handing somebody my power, when I say you did this to me, I'm handing all my power right over, because now they have the ability to control how I feel. And I'm sorry, like, I'm a very independent person. No, that's not happening. No, I'm responsible for my feelings, but then I also am empowered to know I can change any part of my life at any point. If I don't like where things are going, okay, let me look at my energy. Okay, well, this is off, let's make a change. And then what I see in front of me is going to change. And sometimes it does feel like you get busted in the chops. These past couple of weeks energetically have not been the kindest to people. I posted a couple of things on social media, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, Calleigh, what's going on?" And it's just there's always going to be challenges, and if we don't play into it and go, "Oh my God, it's so bad, and it's Mercury retrograde, and everything's going to blow up that I touch," if we go, you know what, this is exactly what should be happening. I try to start out my day as soon as I wake up, as soon as I'm conscious. The very first thing I try to do is everything is working out in the best possible way for me, no matter what I do or what I experience today. That sets the tone for the day right there. Everything I come, even if it's a challenge, everything I come to, it is meant to teach me. So instead of looking at it like a big pain in the butt or a challenge, I'm going to look at it, what is this trying to teach me? Is it trying to teach me that maybe I need to set better boundaries? Is it trying to teach me maybe I need to do better in time management? Is it trying to teach me to see people through a scope of love or non-judgment, or what? So it's really a reflection for us. If we find we're struggling at all, and I mean, it is in our nature to struggle as humans. We're not here to be perfect. We're here to be human. But it's to get people to ask themselves, what is the lesson here? What is this teaching me? Because I'm reflecting out into the outside world. What is the outside world trying to give me feedback on? So I can learn the lesson, so I don't have to keep sitting in this space of uncomfortableness. Yep.
Yeah, you're right about the energies. I mean, I was telling you about my experience last night, and today, and
intense.
I don't understand. However, I'm gonna come out of curiosity. Like last night, I was driving with my son, and he's like, "I'm mad," and I'm like, "Okay, and where are you feeling that?" And he's like, "I don't want to feel it." And I could tell, like, a former me, a younger version of me, would also be mad. However, I was like, I choose not to be, and I choose to just be curious and keep moving forward.
Yes. And that's perfect. And sometimes the empathic people, especially when they're just starting out, getting them to recognize what is theirs and what isn't is a huge challenge. And I go through exercises with people that are just starting out on that journey to try to, is this mine? Is this not mine? Is there a reason I'm feeling this way? Because Ricki is right. 95% of our thoughts and the other things we're experiencing aren't even us. They're just random garbage that happens to be rolling on through, from what's out in the world. And if we recognize that, like, this isn't mine, like it's like those people that have to comment on everything on Facebook. It's like, why give all that energy? This isn't mine. It has nothing to do with me, and I don't care about it. Just keep scrolling, man. Just keep scrolling and get to the good stuff that I actually want to put energy into. Because again, if I put a $50 bill, $51 bills, and I had somebody sit there and had people approach with random things, saying random things, all kinds of things, and had them give them $1 for every time, they would see exactly what their energy is doing. Every time you pay attention to that, it's going, you're paying it in energy. So, and the rule is, for energy, the more energy you give to something, the more it manifests in your life. I know for me, when I saw as a child, one of the very first things my guides came through and taught me is to how to turn away from the things that I didn't want to see as a little child, because if I did see it and I fed it with fear, it would manifest. And that's been a constant in my life of, if you want to take away something's energy, don't keep giving it energy. If you want to take away its power, don't keep giving it energy. And then it won't manifest in your life.
I love that. So much great nuggets, right, everyone?
I hope
Calleigh,
so.
can you share with us how, if you have any last thoughts, and then how people can find you and your events this weekend?
Well, last thoughts are exactly as I opened. Learn to be a conscious individual. Learn to self-reflect and learn to sit with discomfort sometimes. Because again, discomfort is a communication. And just recognizing what it is. So for me, events, I have a couple of things. I'll let you tell them about our sip and share, so you have something to say. But Sunday, I have a full moon meditation going on Calleigh Beach Park. It is on all of my Facebook, or it is on all of my social media. It's not posted on my website, but it is on all my social media. The location, my direct phone number if people have questions. It is a free event. It starts at 5 on Sunday at 5 o'clock and goes till 7. We usually start around 6. Everybody brings a potluck item, so there's plenty of food. If people have other skills, if you're a Reiki practitioner, if you do cards, if you do sound healing, whatever, I encourage people to bring that with them, and that way we can all kind of vibe together. I usually bring my singing bowls, and right on the beach as the sun's setting, we do a nice singing bowl meditation, and just reflect on what that full moon is telling us, because every full moon has its challenges. And then we do a release. I light a little candle on the beach because you can't do fires. And people write down the things that they like to release, and they come up and they burn their paper right there on the beach. And when it's done, we make sure everything's burned to ash and then give it back to the universe. It's a good time. Yep. I do that every month, by the way. So if people can't make it, I will do it every single month. It's always posted on my social medias. If you're not a social media person, the best thing to do would be to text me directly and just ask to be put on that full moon list. I probably will start a list on my website where I can just mass email. My number is 808-766-4446. Please be respectful. This is the phone I keep by my bedside all night. Please be respectful. I would appreciate it. Or if it's a longer message, you can always email me at ostarawellnessllc.com, or I'm sorry, at gmail.com. And then my website, ostarawellnessllc.com. So you can message me through there too.
Awesome. Well, thank you so
Yes.
much to Ricki Marie and Calleigh for being our
Thank
guests
you.
on World of Nutrition podcast. And I wanted to just give a shout out to Mutual Aid Network. So Mutual Aid Network is a sponsor of this podcast, and everybody has their own strengths, right? Not everybody has the finances. So what Mutual Aid Network is about is we all get to share our strengths with each other around the world. So something I love to do, and I started this during the pandemic, is I started doing Zoom karaoke, bringing people all from all over the world to come and sing their favorite songs, um, either as a group or individually. We've had some professional singers sing as well. It's amazing. It's so much fun meeting people and just bringing people together with song and music. So that's something that Mutual Aid Network does. And we do have an event coming up. I don't have the exact date, but we'll get that to you if you are interested in joining us for the Zoom karaoke. And then I want to give also shout out to Frequence, because Frequence is something that I became passionate about a couple of years ago when I was going through one of the most challenging times of my life. And frequency, I mean, both of you ladies talked about frequency today, and Frequence infuses 11 harmonic frequencies in all of our health and wellness products. It's for our mental well-being. This company just loves people. They love raising people's frequency and vibration, and we can do that with our products. So something that I'm loving is mango lemonade nootropics. I'm drinking that right now, and that helps with mental clarity, focus, creativity. And I love to do it. I love to drink it while I am doing the podcast too, because it just keeps the conversations flowing, right? So great energy, and we're all giving each other this wonderful unconditional love and energy. So I really appreciate both of you ladies for being on here today, and have a wonderful 8/8. Like I said,
Thank
please
you.
go ground, hug a tree, stand in the water, at the beach if you can. It's so powerful. Oh, and I forgot about my event with Calleigh tomorrow.
I know.
Sorry, that's why I wanted you to sit. So Calleigh and I are doing a sip and sound event tomorrow, where we're going to do a free sip and sound over at Savon in Hawaii Kai. It's at 2:30 p.m. and I will be Shireen and I will be sharing some of the Frequence products, and Calleigh will be doing frequency sound bowls. So that is so special. And we talk about the different frequencies and the emotions attached to different frequencies and how we can feel it, because everything is frequency and energy. So thank you, everyone. Have a beautiful Aloha Friday and weekend. We'll see you next